Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, a little news that ain't nobody talking about, right? In the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division, we got a lot of good fighters in the heavyweight division. We gotta be real with it. The heavyweight division is kind of hot right now, right? This has been for the last couple of years. One of the notable fighters that you would have to note, it would be Dillian Whyte, right? Dillian Whyte, okay, yeah, Dillian Whyte got knocked out by Povetkin while winning the fight. I don't roll with Dillian Whyte. It's a lot of things to do that I don't agree with, right? but Dillian Whyte is formidable. I think we can all agree and meet right there, right? And another thing about Dillian Whyte is if he's in the house, there's gonna be a fight, right? That's the things about Dillian Whyte, and that's positive. And if you're into boxing, then you want to do well. If he show up, it's gonna be a fight, and a damn good one. Dillian Whyte's been in some good fights, but one thing, a glaring omission in Dillian Whyte's resume would have to be this guy here, and that would be Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. And the reason why it's glaring is because he could have fought him on several occasions. Now, you can't be that casual anymore that you don't know that he should have fought Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz on many occasions. We don't have to really continue to go into that. But here's something that's just happened, right? Remember, Dillian Whyte was talking a whole lot of smack because Alexander Povetkin can't take the fight, the rematch, because he got COVID and he's not recovering as fast as he thought. He has to take his time. So Dillian Whyte was saying, well, shoot, give me four of these dudes, one of these four. He said, Deontay Wilder, Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, Andy Ruiz Jr., and Derek Chisora. And me being so cynical like boxing has made me become, hey, I was like, well, that means Derek Chisora. That's who that's going to be, right? But he said the name. But I also done told you, when it comes to Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, this is the Candyman. The only difference is you do not have to say his name 3 times. Just once. And you don't really have to say it loud. Just whisper. Ortiz. Boom. What, a half a day later? Ortiz got wind of that and said, hey, you can get me. That's been about 4 or 5 days ago, people. Just like when Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz accepts a challenge, what happens? Crickets. Every single time. Don't matter what the name is on the other side of that. Dillian Whyte and them was talking a whole lot of smack like y'all wanted somebody. You got one, now it's quiet. Like it's going to always be. Same thing happened to Mike Tyson. Now, we all Mike Tyson fans. He's old and this and that, but so is Ortiz. Some people say Ortiz is old, like 50. Remember when Tyson was saying who he going to fight and this and that? Ortiz said, hey, you can get me. Nothing happened at all. That's how it rolls with Ortiz. If your name's not Deontay Wilder, you're not fighting him. And I'm just saying it because it ain't happened. How does the top 15 heavyweights, none of them fought him except Deontay Wilder? And Tyson Fury done told you on several occasions he's too high risk, low reward. Right? Didn't he? A whole lot of times. He was Anthony Joshua's mandatory. And a whole lot of shenanigans, and they was finagling their way up out of that. We don't have to continue to get into it. You guys got Google. You know what time it is if you didn't hear it here. Right? So, it ain't nobody in a rush to do this. And it's obvious. Right? So that's another one of my Negro League fighters who people can say, well, who has he fought? Right? That's what they do. They do it. Demetrius Andre the other day did a video about him. Everybody still will say, who has he fought? Even though in the video you're telling them he wouldn't fight him and him and him and him and him. Right? Canelo don't want none for years. It's documented. Even if you go look for Canelo, Demetrius Andre ducking Canelo or avoiding Canelo, nothing will show up. What will show up is all the times Canelo didn't want to fight him. And then all of a sudden they start putting Golovkin not wanting to fight Andre. Right? Negro League fighter. Andre. No one wants to fight him. And we will keep our guys that we like away from him. But we can still ask this question always. Who has he fought? Yeah, that question you can ask to any Negro League fighter. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Been around forever, right? Who has he fought? Guillermo Rigondeaux. Been around forever, right? Who has he fought? Demetrius Andre, been around forever. Who has he fought? Right? Question is, who the hell he wanted to fight? Who the hell don't want to fight him? That's what the question is. But see, no one will push him to these guys, and we can continue to ask that silly-ass question, which is just a silly-ass question, because everybody know what time it is. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't even be legal to be that way. When formidable fighters have a ranking, they're supposed to get fought. period. But we can constantly finagle ourselves around that. Now you got, I told you about Devin Haney. Dude wants $10 million to fight Devin Haney. Man, dude ain't number 21 years old, man. Right? We can have a 21-year-old undisputed champion, but we ain't gonna let him fight for it. And everybody gonna keep telling Teofimo Lopez to fight somebody else. Right? Deontay Wilder's a Negro League fighter too. Let me tell you why. Because how the hell did somebody could cheat as many times as Tyson Fury and nobody give a damn about it? Because they're so happy that he lost. That means you're awesome. That people are not happy to see people that are not good lose. Right? People are only happy when somebody awesome loses. Right? That's what happens. Even me, when Anthony Joshua lost. I don't roll with Joshua. I was happy he lost. Because Joshua was awesome. If Joshua was whack, I wouldn't be happy that he lost. I ain't gonna play around like I don't. Yeah, I was happy when Joshua lost. And I would be happy if Canelo loses. Anybody that's that spoiled and getting away with it, entitled, I ain't rolling with them. That don't mean they ain't awesome. Canelo too. Canelo awesome as hell, man. Right? Don't mean that Demetrius Andrade gonna beat him all definitely. But he's sure as hell supposed to get a shot at it. Right? He's sure as hell supposed to be ranked higher than Canelo to force Canelo to fight him. Matter of fact, they mad right now. Right? Somebody, ESPN put Terrence Crawford in #1 pound for pound, which they should have. Right? I've been undisputed and Canelo running from undisputed. Right? Don't get it twisted. He's saying that he wants to be 168 pounds, right? He wants to be undisputed now. I told you before, let Billy Joe Saunders fight Demetrius Andrade and Demetrius Andrade wins. All of a sudden that's going to change, and his fans, because he did it again, he did it at 160. He wanted to be undisputed there. Gennady Golovkin too. But all of a sudden when Charlo and Andrade got them belts, that ain't even on the cards. Right? So that's how it's going to be. So let's just see, and let's, well, matter of fact, just listen to the silence. Remember we used to do this when it gets silent? Them crickets. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz accepted Dillian Whyte's challenge. I ain't heard nothing, and neither have you. But let's keep making noise about it then. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And we up out of here, ain't we? Peace.